5 myths of dog training. Welcome to Coffee with Kate. Hope you've got your brew. So Coffee with Kate is an opportunity for us to learn. It's an opportunity for us to have a little chat about our Dachshunds, about training, about behaviour, about different needs that we've got. So I'm Katie Saywell. I'm the owner and founder of the Dogs Code. The Dogs Code is a training and coaching company, and we specialise in Dachshunds. And we deal with owners who are stressed, embarrassed, or lack confidence. And what we do is we create best friends through positive training. So today is Coffee with Kate. It's Monday. Do a little live session. And today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 myths of dog training. So the last one is the most important, so stay tuned to have a listen. So the top 5 myths. So let's have a think about this. So the first myth that I'm going to bust is playing tug with your Dachshund causes aggression. No, it doesn't. It doesn't cause aggression. What causes aggression is overexcitement. Okay, so overexcitement may lead to aggression. And we don't always need to win games. If we play a game with our dogs and we don't always need to win, imagine how boring that would actually be for our dogs, that every time that they get a toy out, we then win. I mean, the game isn't going to last for very long really, because they're just going to get bored because they never win. And likewise, I'd get bored if I didn't ever win at something. But what we should be doing is teaching our dogs how to play, what is reasonable. So if we're playing with our dogs and they start to get a bit bitey, if they start to miss the toy and start biting hands, then stop the play. It's a really easy technique. Okay, so that's myth number 1. So playing tug makes our dogs aggressive. Myth number 2. There's only one way to teach. Strictly not true, and it's a myth. Okay, there are lots of different ways to teach our dogs things. There is only one method, a preferred method that I would personally choose, and that the Dogs Code choose, and that's positive reinforcement. Okay, so it's a method where it's just kindness. So we're looking to be kind to our dogs. If it doesn't feel kind, if it doesn't sound kind, then it probably isn't kind. So thinking about making things kind for our pups, adults as well, not just pups. And remembering that every dog is different, every human is different, and not every technique is going to work for each of those. So keeping on the kindness, I'm not suggesting anything else, so keeping kind, but thinking of different ways that we can get that same outcome. So thinking of ways that we can maybe teach a different action, but in a different way. Tip number 3. So tip number 3 and myth number 3 is you must be able to put your hand in your dog's food bowl while they're eating. Quite a lot of people say this to me. Well, I'm able to put my hand in the food bowl, so they can't be that bad. A, I don't know why you want to put your hand in the food bowl. B, I know how I'd feel if somebody tried to take food off me. And I wouldn't advise it. Imagine someone trying to take your food off you. What kind of reaction would they get from you? And it's likely to be the same thing from our dogs. If you start trying to take food off your dog when they're eating, then that's likely to cause them to then protect that food because they don't want you to take it. So myth number 4. Myth number 4 is wearing a harness stops pulling. So wearing a harness stops pulling. Wearing a harness doesn't stop pulling. Even if it's sold as a non-pull harness or stop pull harness, a harness will never replace loose lead walking. Okay, so it's a myth because learning to walk on a loose lead stops the pulling, not the equipment that you put on your dog. Okay, so that's something to really bear in mind. That's something that's quite big in the Dachshund world. So pulling on a lead, actually teach them to walk nicely on that lead. If they're pulling on a collar, they're likely to pull on a harness as well. And tip number 5, shouting, punishing, or any physical punishment to your dog will teach them a lesson. Okay, so this is a bit of a tenuous subject. So it doesn't necessarily teach them a lesson, but what it does do is potentially make them fear you. Okay, so it's likely to make them scared of you, so they stop what they're doing, and they'll stop what they're doing not because you've trained them well, because they're actually really scared of you. So it will make them distrust you, and it will also make them very unpredictable. So their behaviour may be very unpredictable in a different setting. Okay, so thinking about being kind, kindness is the way forwards. Using rewards if you need to use rewards. Using verbal cues where you want to use verbal cues. And remember, we use cues rather than commands, because commands are like, rah, you are going to do this. And our training is all about choices, giving our dogs choices. Rather than doing this, why don't we do this instead? And actually teaching them, interacting with our dogs, not just giving them a toy and letting them just go off and play with it. Actually interacting, actually playing with our dogs, or teaching them a new skill. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed Coffee with Kate today. And they are 5 myths of dog training. If you're watching on a replay, then please type replay in the comments below. If you've got any questions, then please ask them. So pop them in now. And if you haven't done so already, then head over to the website www.thedogscode.com. We've got all of our courses now listed on there as well. And we'll take our quiz, then you can do. It's on the website under quiz. So take care for now. Bye.